What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. All right, as you can see here, we have a new optic. I'm going to do something that I haven't done yet before, and that is an out-of-the-box review. So if you want to see this optic under practical range time with rounds down range, seeing its capabilities and durability, go to another channel. I know Mr. Guns and Gear has done a video on this. It was about, 15 minutes long. He does a great review on it. So I think I'm going to get into maybe a couple things that he didn't get into, but he actually has practical usage over it, which you might want to see over this. So if you do, that's fine. Head over to his channel. He's got a good video. All right, now that I have that out of the way, let's get into it. The new Holosun 509. So Holosun paired with Primary Arms to make this optic, and Primary Arms, their contribution was the ACSS Vulcan. So it is a very good optic. It is a very good reticle, I should say. And I am actually really glad to see Holosun collaborating with Primary Arms. Now, Primary Arms doesn't make the most fantastic products out there, but I think their ACSS Vulcan, I think their reticles are really good, and they can be superior compared to other models or other shapes or designs of reticles out there. That's my opinion, but that's my opinion. All right, so standard packaging here. Let's see what it has to offer. So we have the patented ACSS Vulcan reticle, switchable between the chevron and the full ACSS Vulcan reticle. So here's the full reticle, and then here's just the chevron. The chevron is 10 MOA, and the circle or the ring is 250 MOA. Has Holosun's Shake Awake technology, solar panel. It has the CR1632 with the side mount battery tray, so very small battery. You can see the little tray right here, up to 20,000 hours of battery life. But because it is Shake Awake technology and with the solar panel, whether you think the solar panel works or not, you could potentially far exceed 20,000 hours of battery life. Memory, function, and motion sensors. So that just means that when this eventually does shut off, whatever brightness setting you had it on, that's the brightness setting that it will return to when it is turned back on again. 10 daylight and 2 night vision brightness settings under manual mode, push button illumination, IP67 waterproof and fog proof, and then parallax free and unlimited eye relief. So if we look back here, we can get a little bit better look at the Vulcan reticle and then the reticle with the ring. And then you can see here how it actually helps. And then we have handgun bullet drop compensation, and it's covering 9mm, 40, and 45 ACP. Rifle bullet drop compensation underneath that with 5.56, 308, and 7.62 by 39. So sorry, AK-105 guys, this does not have bullet drop compensation for the 5.45 by 39. Okay, so let's open it up. Standard Holosun packaging here, padding on the inside. We have the Primary Arms packet with more details on how this reticle actually works and how to interpret it while shooting. We will get into the practical application of why this reticle can be so damn good, but we will get into that later. Okay, standard packaging here from Holosun, nothing crazy. Cloth, cleaning cloth, some cards, again, more about the reticle, and then warranty, activating that. Silica packets. All right, so before we get into the optic, let's see what else is in here. So we have some screws if you want to mount it to a pistol. We have the tool here. One side is for the screw, and the other side is dedicated for the battery tray compartment. Now, the ACSS, even though it's the 509, it doesn't have the same footprint as the 509T. It is bigger, which, again, we'll get into. So, because it's not the same size, there is an adapter plate. So you don't have to worry about someone making an adapter plate. You don't have to worry about people not knowing how to cut a slide. You have an adapter plate here, so you're good to go, seemingly. Okay? All right. Getting into the optic, So I'll get into first impressions, but then I'll also get into some specifics comparing it to the 509T, all right, which is basically its older brother. So you can see we have the solar panel on top. Holosun logos are blocked out on the top and on the right side of the housing. We have the adjustment buttons here. So plus increases the brightness, minus decreases the brightness. Okay, if you don't understand that, then you probably shouldn't own a firearm. If you hold the plus button down, this actually can go into different modes, and you can actually turn off the shake awake technology, or you can determine how quickly it shuts off after being inactive. If you hold down the minus button, you can actually change the reticle. So there are two different reticle options. Again, you have just the chevron, which is just the triangle, okay? Or you have the chevron with the 250 MOA ring around it. We have the little ACSS Vulcan icon there. On the back part of the optic here, we have elevation, and on the side, we have windage. Underneath, standard bottom of an optic. It can be applied to Picatinny rail. It is good to go. You do have that little adjustment piece right here. So if you want to directly mount it, you can. All right, so now let's get into size comparison between the 509 ACSS and the 509T. I'm going to put up some pictures right now. So as you can see, it is noticeably longer than the 509. So if you were planning on swapping this out, even Steven, for the 509T, can't do that. You need an adapter plate. But you can see that the width and the height appear to be exactly the same. If there are any differences, they are unnoticeable, negligible, okay? But when we look at the weight, you can see here that the 509T weighs in at 63 grams. When I place the 509 ACSS, we get 55 grams. So this is 8 grams lighter than the 509T, which I was actually shocked about. This is, again, a noticeably bigger optic, at least in length, and it's made of aluminum. The 509T, the T stands for titanium. Titanium, although titanium does weigh more than aluminum, it is far stronger. So in theory, you could use far less material of the titanium, and you could still get the same strength, if not better strength and durability, with the same weight of, or more weight with aluminum. So I thought the 509T, it being titanium, less material, and it being smaller, less material, I thought that it would be lighter. I was shocked. So that's awesome. So although this might add a little bit of length to your optic, if you put it on a handgun, you're not going to add any weight. You're actually going to lose weight, which is good. I don't know how they did it, but they were able to do it. And 8 grams, considering how small these packages are, 8 grams is significant. So I think that's really impressive. I don't really know why the ACSS is a bigger or longer, I should say, optic. The only thing I could say is it has to do to accommodate with the reticle. It doesn't, nothing else really makes sense. Why make an optic bigger if you don't have to? Why use more materials, especially in this day and age, if you don't have to? So I think it has to do with the reticle working effectively and correctly. Okay, that being said, okay, talking about the reticle, let's get into that. This reticle, in my opinion, has the potential to be the fastest acquiring red dot on the market today. That ring, that 250 MOA ring, is specifically designed, and it is so easy to use and so intuitive for you to get the eyes on that Vulcan reticle. If you see the top part of that ring, you know to come down. If you see the bottom part of that ring, you know to come up. If you see the right part of that ring, you know to go left. And if you see the left part of that ring, you know you got to go right. And I think it's going to be fast, not necessarily for every shooter. If you're a professional shooter and you have thousands upon thousands of hours of drawing your weapon and having that mind to muscle connection and just replicating that same movement every single time, I don't think this reticle is going to really improve your skills. You're already awesome. You're already a grandmaster. It probably is not going to change. But for a new shooter or for a shooter who is new to red dots, this is going to make you so fast. Or it has the potential anyways to make you so fast. I don't even have this on a gun, and I am seeing the incredible potential for just quick target acquisition. This shows you exactly where you are, and it tells you exactly where you need to be. With just a normal red dot, whether it's 1 MOA, 2 MOA, 3.25 MOA, even 6 MOA, even the bigger red dots out there, if you're not used to it, it could take you a second or two to, move that gun around and to find that dot. With this, that circle, unless you're just standing a foot or two away from your gun off to the side, you're going to find that 250 MOA circle. And it's so intuitive and it's so freaking quick, and it just gets you on that Vulcan way quicker than anything that I'm used to. Now, I'm not a professional shooter. I'm not a grandmaster. So there's even times where, if I don't do enough dry firing, if I don't do enough shooting, if I'm using a red dot that I don't normally use, it might take me a little bit to get used to that. This, I could see picking this up and immediately getting eyes on every single time. It's so quick. It's so intuitive. Okay, I would highly recommend this for people who are new to shooting or new to red dots, because this is going to train you so quickly to get eyes on. All right. A couple other things I noticed with this is the glass clarity. So if you were to just hand this to me and ask me if this was clearer than the 509T without me looking through the 509T, I couldn't tell you. But having them side by side, you can see, at least I think, there's a noticeable difference in glass clarity, which is good. We want clear glass. We don't want a lot of tint or anything like that. So I think the glass clarity is better, and it should be. This is a newer optic. Everything, in my opinion, should be a little bit better, if not the same, right? We certainly shouldn't be going in the other direction. So to see that the glass appears to be cleaner, nice. Because this, with the price, this was $430. It's sold out. I just went to the website where I bought this optic from, which is Kenzie's Optics, and it's now $450. So in a matter of 3 days, it's already gone up from $429 to $449. And I'm assuming with availability or lack thereof and demand, it could go up even higher than that. I could see this optic easily getting to $500. I think it could be a $500 optic. But if it's going to get up there, we're now in the category of EOTech glass clarity. We're now in the ballpark of Aimpoint glass clarity. Now, maybe not in the ballpark of Aimpoint pricing, but we are kind of getting closer, especially if it gets to $500. We are getting closer. But the glass clarity is good, and they need to compete with people like EOTech and Aimpoint because they are superior in certain ways. When looking at around the edges, that's really when I noticed the glass clarity. On the 509T, I found that I was seeing a little bit more blue hue around the edges as I was with the 509 ACSS. There is still magnification around the edges. I would say the magnification appears to be about the same. Now it's hard. It looks almost a little bit less, like there's less magnification around the edges, but I don't necessarily want to say that outright. I think I was being distracted by the reticle because that circle is so big. Whenever you kind of get to the edges, you always see part of that bigger ring. And it was kind of hard. I definitely noticed some magnification around the edges, but it did appear to be maybe slightly less magnification, but I can't say that outright. I don't know. Okay. When it comes to, I got to think. When it comes to if it's parallax free, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't have this on a gun yet. I'm moving my phone, which is my camera. I'm moving that around, and there does seem to be some deviation in where the Vulcan is and how it's moving, but it's really hard to say. I really kind of have to get it sturdy on a gun in order to really give my true opinion and kind of the true facts on if it's truly parallax free or not. So there's the open box review. You saw exactly what it comes with, and then I gave you some of my opinions. If you thought this video was helpful, consider subscribing. If you think somebody else might like it, consider sharing it. And if you hate this video, then don't subscribe. It's that easy. I'll see you guys. Peace.